We are back from our sabbatical. It's been a little bit. Perks Recap Podcast is back on the air. With me is Al, and of course, Jordan the Unicorn is also here. So that means we're talking about baseball. It is the football season. There's been some news. Maybe me and Al will jump on again before the draft, but at the very least, after the draft, we'll jump on with some more football. But it is baseball season. Opening day was yesterday as we are recording this. A lot came out of it. Guys, how are you doing? Al, you ready for another long season?
Darn right, man. Nothing like the grind of baseball in the best possible way. And it all kicked off yesterday in we had the Japan stuff, but this is the real deal. And yeah, what a fun way to open up. I mean, my Phils won an extra inning game. They struck out 13 times against the starter. So it's right back to Philly ball. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep. And Jordan, this is like yesterday was like a holiday for you, right?
Oh yeah. So for the last, I want to say 5 years, maybe six. Me and my dad. When the first game comes out, we go on. We get a pizza. We eat that, and then
Yes.
for dinner, the traditional baseball way to go, which is hot dogs and Nathan's cheese fries.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
That is the way to go.
So,
You're right about that.
so
Oh,
that's
you know how to do it. Yeah.
every single year. Me and my dad take off. Like you said, it's a holiday. I'm still full from last night.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
That is
I
great
love
to
that
hear.
and respect
So
it.
this is going to be our preview and prediction pod that we will of course revisit as we always do around here. We hold ourselves accountable, but we're before we get to that, a lot of stuff came out, even though it was just one game for opening day. And Jordan, you specifically wanted to mention a few things. I
Yep.
mentioned the off air the 84-mile-an-hour first pitch by Ichiro in full uniform for Seattle
It's incredible.
at
Incredible.
51 years old. But Jordan, you had a few other things, so go ahead.
Yeah. So last night, if anyone watched, the Tyler O'Neill has set a record of six consecutive opening day games with a home run.
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
Wow.
I knew he set that record too.
So he said that, and then Al,
I
you
wouldn't have
mentioned
guessed Tyler O'Neill was healthy on 6 consecutive opening days. That's amazing.
yeah
Six
he
consecutive opening days with a homer.
That's incredible. I didn't even know that was a streak in the works. That's awesome. Cool.
yes, and then you mentioned your fills, but Mackenzie Gore
Yep.
for the first time. I gotta look up the year since Bob Gibson
Mhm.
So was that
went and
63, 64?
yeah, 63 went on, striked out 13 batters, gave up no walks and no runs on his opening day start.
Incredible. And then the first two relievers that they brought in gave up a home run on the first pitch to the next two guys, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber.
Yes,
That's the kind of year it's going to be for the Nationals.
Wow.
But they got something in that Juan Soto trade.
yes, they did. Yep.
They really did.
He he was talked about even in the draft. He was talked about, and now we got to see it in person. And I think he's gonna be something when he's all ready to wrap it up. I think this is gonna be one of the best elite starters of his generation.
I think there's a good chance. I mean, I've known about him for 5 years. It seems like so. I mean, he's been on everybody's radar and ready to bust out, and boom, he just faced a very good team that is strikeout prone. But I don't care who you do it against. 13 strikeouts and those other numbers around it, super impressive. So yeah, he's gonna struggle for wins on that team, but all the other numbers are going to be really good.
I agree.
Yep. Okay. I have one from opening day yesterday.
Mm,
Uh, Austin Wells for the Yankees,
yes.
the first catcher to ever bat leadoff for the Yankees in any game ever.
Oh wow, cool stat.
Over 100 years of baseball, no catcher ever let off a game for them.
That's incredible. Yeah. Wow.
And his leadoff home run in the game is the first ever catcher to lead off the game, any game in the history of baseball with a home run. With a home run,
No,
no, no
Yep.
catcher has ever led off a game with a home run.
that's incredible. That's amazing. I mean, no catcher in
Well,
the history of the game. Wow.
when you think about it, though, how many catchers are really leadoff guys? There's
No,
not
that's
many.
true, but yeah, but even in the last like 10 years, as the things have changed and the focus, you think maybe somebody might have snuck up and done it, you know? But that's
You know
that's a
what?
cool that's a cool stat.
I don't want to misspeak because now that I'm thinking about it, is it the first catcher to ever hit a home run to lead off a game, or just the first game?
Oh yeah, yeah. Either way, it's impressive. But if it's any game, it's insane. You know what I mean? Like the
Right.
odds of that. Even
Oh,
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's actually to lead off opening day.
right on. But that's still amazing. I mean, that's a lot of at bats still.
um,
That's a lot of at bats. Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
I just looked it up to confirm it is on opening day.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Okay,
Okay.
cool. Incredible.
But either way, still cool. Couple little things for Austin Wells right there, setting some records for the Yankees records and MLB records.
No doubt. Impressive.
Jordan, do you have anything else before we dive in?
Um, no, I think I'm all set. I think just if you love the game, there was a lot of great games yesterday. They were fun to watch, I think all around, for all the 14 games that we saw, they were fun and exciting.
That's so cool. I spent most of my time on the Phillies and Yankees and watched both. The Yankees are on ESPN and Phillies are my home, local market. So I got to see most of both of those games and they were great. So
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, then why don't we jump in and start with our preview and predictions of the 2025 baseball year?
let's do it. And remember the Beautiful Mind reference from, I think it was one of our greatest of all top 10 positions, where you were doing a lot of scratching, Craig. And well, I'm right there with you on this one and I could still change half of it probably right now. So I can't wait to see where you guys landed on some of this stuff.
I tell you, this one was harder than last year. Last year there was a couple divisions that were tough. This year, like there was just a couple divisions that weren't tough.
There's one division where I could flip a coin and make the team I have number 4 make them number 1, and it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wanted to point out one thing real quick before we get to the specific division predictions. I found it interesting that CBS Sports has a over under for every team in baseball on that they just put out. I think it was yesterday.
Yep.
Um, and I just found it interesting that there wasn't a single American League team with an over under above 90.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought that
I
was really interesting. I didn't think about that until I
Well, the
sat
thing
down to
is,
do the predictions.
there's no team above 100 other than the Dodgers.
Yeah, and there are 4 teams above 90, and they're all in the NL,
Yep. Crazy.
and
Yeah.
3 are in the NL East, which is really crazy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, I just thought that was a fascinating statistic there. So anyway, we can dive on in.
Alrighty. Okay, you want to just start with the AL East then?
Sure.
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. I guess I'll lead off. I have this going. Uh, Boston
This is
is going to win
one
the.
to
Yes,
5.
I have Boston winning this division.
Okay.
I think they've made so many improvements, and I can just smell it coming from a mile away. This is going to be a big Boston year. I have them with 90 wins.
Okay.
I have the Yankees in second with 88 wins, and then I have Baltimore and Toronto tied with 86 wins, and only one of them is going to make the playoffs. And then I have Tampa Bay with 81. So I have the AL East being very tough. Everybody's got a winning record except for Tampa, and they're at 500.
Yeah, that's wow. That would be something, man. That'd be really cool to see, actually.
So
Jordan,
what
you want to
say
go
you?
next?
Yeah. I didn't write a record down. I just wrote down the.
I didn't do records either.
I just put
So
I didn't I just put wins.
I like that you did that. but I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
So Craig, I agree with you. I think Boston is going to win this. Just the young talent they have, I think it's very, uh, it's very good for Boston, especially with Crochet and the addition of Alex Bregman. I think those two are going to help them out a lot. So
Yeah,
I have them.
Crochet. Yep, Crochet and Bregman. Plus, they also got Walker Bueller.
Yeah.
Uh, I can, yeah, as much as it pains me, I cannot see how they're not going to be very, very good. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. I have Baltimore second. I know that's kind of crazy to say because the pitching's bad, but I think the lineup and the bullpen, especially the 8 and 9 guys, are gonna carry this team. Uh, because the 8 and 9 guys when they were healthy, that was the most dynamic duo, in my opinion, which is Cano and Batista. Those guys I think are gonna be very good, especially if Baltimore wins. I'm actually predicting Rutschman is actually gonna have a great year. Um, Again, along with Henderson and Rodriguez when they come back from the IL. So I believe Baltimore will be second. I got the Yankees finishing third, uh, just because of all the injuries and we haven't played a game yet, or we played one game, and there's everything's still up in the air with them. Um, then I have Toronto finishing fourth. Again, I just don't like how they're built. I really don't. And then Tampa is my fifth place team.
Right on. Okay. Cool. Cool.
All right,
Well,
Jordan, real quick.
please.
You mentioned that you think Baltimore is going to get carried by their bullpen especially the back of their bullpen. You would take the Baltimore eighth and ninth guy over the Yankees eighth and ninth guy because I wouldn't. I would definitely take
Well,
Weaver and Williams over. I think actually over any back eight and nine on any team. I think they're the
well,
best in the
when
baseball.
when Batista was healthy, he was
Yeah, but so is Williams,
definitely
and
up
I
there.
think Weaver is better than Cano.
I mean, yeah, but just because I would think they have experience, but I don't know. Cano has 2 3 years, but I think once he gets going, he's gonna be a dominant reliever, and so
I
is
could definitely see him being right there, but
Batista.
right
But
now, like
but
coming
also
in, coming in,
from
I would take Weaver and Williams over those two
I don't
guys.
know because I don't know. I think I don't know because last from what I've seen yesterday, I don't know. Williams kind of scared me a
It's
little
just
bit.
one. That's one game. I'm
I
not worried
know,
about
but
that.
you never know.
He's been
I
It's
mean, it's got to become more of a trend than one game for it to be a problem. I mean, plus he still got it done, and it was his former team. You know how that probably messed with his mind too.
no doubt. No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. But
And if we're questioning either of the back end in the Yankees bullpen, it's Jeff Weaver. That guy did it for one season in a 13-year career. So,
Right, right.
yeah,
but yeah, that's I
Okay.
mean, that's a strength of both teams. I mean, it's I would take the Yankees on it too, but by a hair.
Yeah, like I said, I would not at all be surprised if Baltimore's is excellent and maybe even better. But just right now coming in, I would probably take the Yankees. But
And only
again,
because I'm such a Devin Williams guy. I
yeah,
really, I'm a bit massive Devin Williams guy, but I am a Batista guy too. I'm with you on that point, Jordan.
that's
That's
another
going
thing
to make
too.
a
Is his velocity was down because he's coming off the surgery, right? He had the Tommy John, right? He missed all of last year,
yes.
yeah.
so you gotta. I don't know. That's going to take a little while for him to
Well,
get going, probably.
I don't know. His velocity in spring training was that it was like he never got hurt, which is kind of crazy to say. To- Like I watched the highlights and I watched the games, and it really looked like he was mid-season form in spring training.
Well, we're gonna have to see. That's definitely gonna be interesting to see.
So
Okay, Al, what are your AL East predictions?
All right. Well, you Yankee fans, I'm going to be the one to pick the Yankees to win the division. And listen, Garrett Cole going out obviously is a big hit to that,
Yeah.
but there's questions with all of these teams, and I'm really curious. I like what the Red Sox did to a certain extent, but they're one of the Crochet is the biggest move, and that's huge. I mean, that guy's
Well, the
awesome.
thing is that's good, but the problem is he's got to stay healthy. He's only pitched like over 120 innings just last year. That was it.
And
He's
that's
never
part
done
of
that
my
before.
question with him, absolutely. Um, Another guy they're relying on in Walker Bueller has been awful, great, terrible, good, okay, sucky. You know what I mean? Like, who is the real Walker Bueller now that he's, I mean, 28 years old or whatever he is? I mean, he has been so up and down. I don't, what are you counting on him for? Are you counting on him to be great? Because if you are, it's really dicey. Are you counting on him to give you 200 innings? No chance. You know
I
what I
think it's
mean?
dicey for even Crochet too.
It is
Crochet's more
100%. So
Crochet's
there's a lot of
more
risk in this Boston.
Crochet was getting pulled after 4 innings in all of September.
Sorry, got a call, guys.
No worries. I
I'm
said
back now. Sorry about that.
Crochet was getting pulled after 4 innings in all of September.
Yes. And he'll up his innings this year, but I don't think I'd be surprised if he's going to go past 160 or 70.
Yeah, and he's also usually hurt. He's been hurt a lot too.
A ton. And you team him with Walker Bueller, another massive injury prone guy. So, I don't know. And the other thing I wanted to say about this is the other thing they did is sign Bregman to play third base. And what did they do? Piss off their best player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't agree with all that stuff. I've seen like that a bunch. But they did say that they talked it over. I mean, obviously he did have 3 words because you're also paying him 300 million, over $300 million. But at the same time though, if it's gonna help you win, just take it. Like
Well, and I'm with you, Jordan. That makes
and and
sense in a
and
logical
I
way, but
think
a guy that believes that wouldn't have said what he said in the first place.
right, but like I said, they said they talked it over. I see it like this. I see a few things. Okay, number one is if this wasn't Alex Cora, no way this is getting done. Uh, just because Alex Cora has been there for years, and so I think it's probably the respect of Alex Cora that they probably talked down. He probably voiced his opinion, but you say, you know what? Okay, if you think this is better and this is gonna help us get to the postseason, I think that's where his mindset is right now. Is let's get back to the postseason. The other thing that I have is like I'm kind of tired of everyone saying that oh he's young and DH is gonna hurt him and oh you're gonna pay a guy over $300 million to be a DH, but the
Yeah,
Dodgers are doing it. The
I
Dodgers,
don't have a problem with that.
I don't either. What I do have a problem with is
no,
not
no, I don't either.
discussing it with your
But
best player before you do it and just jamming it down his throat and then saying because not there's been a lot of people try to adjust to DH over the years. It works sometimes and it doesn't work other
well,
times. I'm not and I'm
I,
not I don't
I,
have a problem with the 300
I,
million. I'm
I
just saying not everybody is capable of DHing. We'll
right,
find out. I mean, Devers has been a very up and down player in his career so far, and
but
it'll be
also
interesting to
I
see what this does
see,
for him.
but I also see it as well as if I think going into spring training, it was gonna be you know um Bregman second, Devers at third, because I don't think they thought Campbell was gonna be what he performed at spring training. And he performed well. Now he's gonna be now he's like, okay, you're getting called up to the big leagues. You're gonna make your debut, and he's a second baseman.
Right, no
So I
doubt.
think it's like another move is like let's push more of the young guys in here too because we have faith in them. Like
I do
yes,
like their young kids. I forgot that there's like two of them that are like really good, and they're both going to be up. And I can't remember their
yeah.
names.
Well, Campbell
Campbell's
played
one of them. Yeah.
yesterday, and he was and he's like the number 6 prospect either on their roster or
Who's the other one? Wasn't one like Roman Anthony?
yes, him too.
He's supposed to be really good.
Yeah,
So we'll see. By the way, how great is it just to be discussing baseball?
Oh,
it's
I
great.
love it, man.
I am loving
Totally.
this.
But
Okay,
also my other thing is that as well, and I don't and like people like we were discussing the DH, what they're saying that's gonna ruin his career. But David Ortiz and Edgar Martinez, two of the greatest DHs, they made a
yep.
name.
But they were
I'm
terrible
saying,
fielders that didn't have an option.
and that's what I see with Devers. They brought in Alex Bregman, who was the best defensive third baseman for the last 2 years. Put Devers at DH. I'm just saying it might work out for him. It might be like a David Ortiz type thing.
It's an interesting way to build your team on a big fat maybe
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
there
well,
were other holes they could have filled. You know what I mean?
right, which I understand, but at the same time, it's like Devers. Like people are saying that he's got good moves. No one's gonna give that contract. He's not free. You're owing him so much money until 2032. No
Yeah.
way anyone's gonna give up that contract. Devers is a Boston Red Sox for life. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right, Al, you had the Yankees in first. Who's do you have next?
Red Sox, then the Orioles, then the Blue Jays, then the Rays. And I can't stand what the Blue Jays did in this offseason. I think it's the top three. I don't have it quite as close as you, Craig. I have the top three and then a little difference between 4 and 5.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm thinking I might have overestimated Toronto's chances, but I've also saw some predictions when I was doing this. I was looking at some of the other people. I saw a few people with Toronto like in second in the
Oh yeah,
division.
no, some people are high on them, man.
Yeah,
But
no.
but you know what? They every year they should be better than they are. They're the baseball San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's perfect. And by the way, just to back up what the view on the Blue Jays this year from the other side, because I have seen some people that are picking them higher than I would, but I pulled up a thing that has four different betting sites odds in each division
Yep.
as of yesterday, and the Blue Jays are picked last in every one of them, behind the Rays even, which surprised me a little bit.
Really?
Every single one. The Yankees are first in all of them. The Red Sox are second. The Orioles are third. The Rays are fourth, and the Jays are fifth. It's uniform throughout. The odds are a little different on each,
I,
but
I was kind of surprised because I was looking up World Series odds, and the Yankees are second
yeah. And
behind
I
the
don't know
Dodgers.
if that's what I call the cowboy bump, Craig, in football,
Yeah,
or if
maybe.
that's how people are viewing it. I'm not sure because it surprised me too. I mean, if Garrett Cole hadn't gotten hurt, yeah, you know, but it surprised me a little bit with Cole out.
Yeah, I looked just yesterday, and it was Dodgers were first, and Yankees were second.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Anyway, do we need to discuss anything more? Tampa Bay, uh, I gave them 81 wins, not because I think they're any good, just because they just always find a way, and I
They're
could
Tampa
see them
Bay.
being terrible.
They're Tampa
I
Bay. Yeah, man. Yeah,
I
and they have
don't.
Shane McClanahan back. I don't know how much he'll pitch this year, but that guy's
No,
awesome.
he's hurt again.
Oh, he is? For how long?
Yeah. Uh, I don't know, guys. Right now they put him on the 15-day IL, but he hurt his shoulder his last.
Oh God!
Yeah.
But they'll still find a way to win 80 games.
Yeah, but I don't know. I see it as more of like a hey, let's continue doing what we're doing. Like it worked when they traded Longoria. It worked when they
Plus,
traded Price.
plus they got some left-handed power now when they're playing Yankee Stadium South.
Yeah,
The short
but
porch, the short porch is going to
That's
be
right.
there, so all their
yeah,
left-handed power hitters are going to get a
which
big bump.
yeah,
That's
but
right.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see them doing as everyone thinks they're doing. They're gonna do. So I don't know. I don't see it working out unless they could somehow surprise the MLB world and pull a big trade guy. I could see it, but otherwise, I don't see them being that good.
I agree. Okay, Al, since I went first last time, how about you go first for the AL Central?
Oh, good Lord. And this is the one I was talking about.
This one
This
sucks.
is the hardest one to pick, man. I have
Really, I find it easy.
well, you're the only one, Jordan, because if you look at the Vegas odds, it's insane. The
Well, that's
Vegas
probably why. That's
odds,
why I find it easy because I don't look at the biggest odds.
it's so funny. There is the way the odds, the plus 220 for first place, plus 320 for fourth place. That's the least separation. There's less separation between that than most first and second place finishes in divisions, let alone first and fourth. So it just to put it in perspective, it's wild how close people look at this. So I can't wait to see where everybody came out. I don't even know what to do. I honestly I could switch this whole thing up and be fine with it, but I'm gonna go. Cleveland 1, Detroit 2, KC 3, Minnesota 4. I've been on Minnesota for years, and they have perennially disappointed me, and I'm jumping ship. Oh, and White. I barely. I forgot to mention the White Sox, and for good reason.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
are absolutely right about being able to switch any of those top four teams in any order, and you have a valid case to make.
I completely agree. I won't argue with any order you guys give, unless you put the White Sox in the top four. Then we'll have a discussion.
Oh, damn! Then you're not gonna like my first place team. No, I'm kidding.
That's awesome, Jordan.
All right, Jordan, who do you have in the Central?
So I got Detroit winning it all.
Okay.
I me personally, I like what they done this offseason. I like the addition to Tommy Kahnle. I like Flaherty if he's healthy, and I also like that they got Torres at second base. I think this is
Hmm.
gonna be a change of scenery. Not to say that he was bad with the Yankees, but I just think that hey, now it's kind of like a veteran leadership, and most of the eyes are on the young kids. Time to shine. Be like the sneaky pick. So I got Toronto winning. Detroit winning in number one. I got KC number two. Um, I just like the young core that they have.
I do
Uh,
too. I kind of wanted to pick them, Jordan. That's cool. You made them second. I don't know why I
um,
made them third.
yeah, I also like the addition. I like Cole Reagans. I think
Me too.
Oh, Cole Reagans is awesome.
he's awesome. I like the addition of Jonathan India. I think, in my opinion, if you're gonna hit that ball up the middle, you're not getting a base hit because you have Bobby Witt on shortstop and Jonathan India on the other side.
Yeah, that's a great combo, man.
Uh, and also Pascatino's back. I think that's gonna help them out a lot.
It certainly
Um,
did yesterday.
yeah, and I think it's gonna now that they
And
have
they have arguably a top three player in baseball.
Yeah,
yes, and I think all the pieces coming back, I think it's gonna help them out very well. I could honestly, and that's why I think they're gonna be second place. Um, the third place I have Cleveland. They really didn't do much for me to be like, oh, okay, let's get going, let's get excited. I don't know, it just I don't. They didn't do much for me, so I put them a third. Minnesota's fourth. I believe they're actually going to be sellers this year. I think
I wouldn't argue that at all, Jordan.
bold prediction. I'm going to do the first bold prediction of 2025. I think Correa or Buxton are out.
Oh, I love it.
One,
Okay,
one,
okay.
one, one or the other is getting traded this year.
I will agree with you, and I will say it'll be Correa because Buxton will be hurt and nobody will want him.
Well, I was leaning more towards Buxton just because Correa is a free agent like 2031, but Buxton you have 4 more years left. So I think people maybe might go of the years and just like, okay, Buxton we have control for 3 to 4 years. As Correa we have like 5, 6, and he's not the same player as he was with Houston.
I saw there somebody's odds bold prediction pick for MVP was Correa.
No,
Good luck with that.
I don't think he's not not anymore.
No,
Um,
I,
Also
I
another
I'd
name.
take like literally I would take like 50 to 100 players over Carlos Correa for MVP.
Yep.
Yeah. Also another name. I think Christian Vasquez will also get traded. I
Okay,
also forgot about him. Just because I think he's a free agent after this year. So why not bring him a contending team? He's done it before. And then like I said, the White Sox. I think we'll see a sellout from. I think Robert Jr. and Benintendi will both be gone, and they're gonna just start all over again.
we've been waiting like years for Robert to get traded, and it's got to happen finally, right?
It's gotta.
Yeah.
Gotta.
All right. Well, I'm the one who did it, and I put Kansas City in first place
Oh, I love it. I kind of wanted to but I
to
backed
win the
off.
division with 87 wins.
Nice.
I have
Okay.
Cleveland right on their heels with 86.
Hmm.
And I know you guys were down on Minnesota, but I have Minnesota once again with 86 wins and in third place, right behind Cleveland, tied with them actually. And then now you got you, the reason I was laughing when Jordan had Detroit winning the division and you was second is because I have Detroit fourth.
Right on, right on.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I have them barely over 500, 82 wins.
Which, by the way, is only 5 games out of first place. In-
Yes, yes, yep.
so you have a 14 clump at 5 games, which is exactly how the Vegas odds look to me. You know what I
But
mean?
but,
Like that.
but
That makes a lot of sense.
My AL East is the same way.
Yeah.
Boston
Oh,
with
that's
90
right.
wins.
Yeah.
Boston with 90 wins and Toronto with 86 wins. 4 games.
Man,
um, but those I think those divisions are that tight. And then of course Chicago last with 55 wins.
I love it. Which is a improvement over last year.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I had them. I mean, that was historically bad. I don't know if they'll be historically. They're going to be horrible. I don't know if they'll be historically bad again.
No, I
So I
won't
gave them
bet on them to
50.
break history 2 years in a row. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'll give them 55 wins.
I think that's yeah. I like it. Oh, and by the
But yeah,
way, Vegas
go ahead.
odds on this division.
Yep.
4 out of 5 of the betting sites have the Twins winning the division,
Yeah. So there you go.
and the other one has the Tigers.
So there you go.
Oh man.
All right. So I started one. Jordan started one. So Al start this. No, no.
No, I
Al
started
start
Central.
last one. So Jordan, you start this one.
AL West, right?
AL West.
All right. So here's a surprise. Just because I don't know. This one was tough for me, but I got the Rangers number one. Um,
Yes.
I got it. Uh, I was gonna go on and say just because I think they're all healthy and stuff, but then one of the guys on MLB Network brought up a point. The Bruce Bochy effect is gonna come in. They won in 2023, so now 2025 is their year. Um,
I
for
love
all,
it.
if you don't, if people who don't understand, Bruce Bochy, like for 5 years, won 3 championships on the even year,
Yep.
with
Yep.
the Giants.
He is the
Uh,
king of every other year. That's so
yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Um, but yeah,
And
no,
now
I have,
that he's in the AL, it's the odd year.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got a flip now. That's right.
Um, yeah, but I got the Rangers winning this. I got Houston second. Um, I got the Angels third, Mariners fourth, and then the A's in fifth.
Okay. Well, Craig, I heard a sound from you that makes me think we all might agree with Jordan in first place.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, first place? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, because I have the Rangers as well in first. Do you want to go with your rest from there?
Sure. I have Texas with 87 wins winning it. I have Houston with 85 wins in second, same as Jordan. But this is where I don't see it. I do not see the Angels. I have them. Let me check real quick. I have them with the third worst record in baseball.
I'm closer to you than I am to Jordan on that one for sure.
I have Seattle in third. I have the A's in fourth, and I have the Angels in last, and by a lot.
Yeah, I have the Rangers. Then I have the Mariners second, making that leap that they looked like they might make last year, and it just fell apart. And then they got hot when they fired their manager. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm just really rooting for the Astros to fade into obscurity, but I know it's not going to happen.
Right.
Then the Astros got Luis. They are waiting to get Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers back. If they get significant contributions from them, they could end up in first place again, which would really piss me off. But and then I'm taking the A's over the Angels in fourth and fifth.
Yeah, the A's. I tell you, the A's. I have them not at 500, but getting close. I have them with 77 wins. I think they actually made some moves this year, and people don't realize last year they didn't come in last. They came in fourth.
Yeah,
The Angels came in last, and they made some moves this year, more than the Angels did, in my opinion. So I kind of like the A's to really make a jump and win 77 games.
yeah.
And I have the I
I
have
don't
the,
know if I'm on board with that. I'm not 100%. Maybe I am. I didn't really think it through. but I like where you're coming from because they did they surprised me last year, and I think everybody not finishing last,
Right.
and then they signed Severino and made a couple moves, you know. So yeah, I think they'll be
And
a
the
solid fourth, but distantly behind third.
yes, I had that's what I have. And I have the Angels with 68 wins.
And can we just all agree that we hope Mike Trout can play like 120 games or more this year? Wouldn't that be sweet?
I
That
think
would
he
be nice,
will.
but at this point, you can't even count. You can't count on that.
No, no.
Now, I think the move to right, it's gonna keep him healthy,
I hope so.
especially.
I
And
really
then
do. I hope it matters. I really hope it makes a difference, man.
but I also think even though I and Miffy with like Soler's bat out of the lineup, but like you can even go back and forth, have him play right field for a couple games, have him DH, go back to right. That way he could play over 100 and something games. Uh,
That would be great to see.
you know, but like with the Angels, the reason I have them third is because kind of the same thing like with uh, Kansas City and Detroit. They do have some good young talent that people just don't uh go on. I like Joe Adele up in center field. I think he's gonna be a good fielder and a good hitter. I think he's got to stay healthy, but I mean, again, 3 years in the big leagues, it's you can't really he you know dump on him for a while. The catcher I think is phenomenal. They have a great catcher. Um, And even though the starting pitching, yes, that's what they need, but they got guys who are not going to go on and be, oh, let's throw 100 miles per hour. These are old school guys that will get you with strike you out with an 80 to 95 mile per hour pitch. Like they're old school guys. And that's why I think the Angels are better than Mariners and the A's.
Interesting. Yeah,
I I can
that's
see it.
all totally fair. I just want to push back on. I'm officially calling Joe Adele a bust. Personally, he is now 27 years old. His lifetime batting average is 212. His
Yeah,
his
I'm not on board
lifetime
with that.
WAR in 5 seasons is minus point six,
Yeah.
and his on base percentage is 268. So I'm done with Joe Adele personally.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it through the year without getting cut or released or sent to the minors.
I would love to see him. I drafted in my fantasy league like 7 years ago, or probably 5 years ago when he was the a big breakout candidate. So I've been on
Yeah.
him for a while, and I probably
Hey,
have.
I hope I'm wrong because I like the talent. What he was supposed to be.
Me too, man. Me too. And maybe I'm just a little butthurt, but it is a long time to not do anything and still have hope.
Yeah, but we could definitely be wrong. And I do like the catcher as well.
The catcher,
And
I'm 100%. Everything else you said, Jordan, 100% on board with, other than the win total.
these are just projections, and we could be we're gonna be way off, and that could definitely be one
Well,
that
it's
we're
going to be
off on.
awesome. This is going to be awesome at the end of the year because if, like, say the Angels are good at all this year, Jordan, you're going to look like a genius because nobody else is calling it. I love it. Like, honestly, if they finish even in fourth place, you're going to look good because nobody's calling it. I love it. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, it's time for the National League,
Oh
Oh boy.
boy.
and it should be my turn, but I'll go next because I want Al to start this one off because it's your division, Al.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. This was so hard. I have four different sets of top three finishes crossed out.
Wow.
And then finally settled on Braves number one, Phillies number two, Mets number three, Nationals and Marlins not even a factor, four and five. And honestly, you
That
could switch that top three anyway, and I'm not going to argue with you.
that is exactly my order:
Get out.
Atlanta, Philly, Mets, Washington, Miami.
Get out. Jordan.
I have the same thing.
No, we all
No,
have the exact same
I
five?
I have the exact same order.
I thought we would have three different things and have a whole bunch to talk about and compare. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe it.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, I have Atlanta with 91 wins and Philly with 90, which means that is going to come down to the last day.
I could totally see that, Craig.
And the
100%.
Mets right there with 88.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that. And it could go any way among that. The Mets are the biggest wild card to me because of what they've done with their pitching staff. It's so weird. And
The
there
Lab.
yeah, there's nobody to hang your hat at on that pitching staff based on past performance at all. But if they do what they did last year with a couple of the guys and they make them all better than they ever have been, it could be outstanding. I don't freaking know what to make of it.
Yeah,
We
because
know,
last year it was the same thing, and they went to the NLCS.
right,
Yeah.
right. So,
But
and then they added
oh,
a couple guys this year that I wouldn't have taken for free.
Yep.
Who's the pitcher they added this year that stinks?
Clay Holmes.
No. I love Clay Holmes. I mean,
Montaz.
it's an experiment. Who is it?
Montaz.
Yes, Montas. Clay Holmes, I love, and I'm
Oh,
curious to see how the transition to a starter
well,
works.
I,
But
I'm gonna tell you straight. Last night he was actually pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. I mean,
He he looked like I kid you not. He only gave up 2 earned runs,
mhm.
three total, but two of them were earned.
How many innings
Uh,
did he pitch?
I want to say he pitched like
he pitched just under 5.
Okay,
It's like 4 and
yeah
a third or 4 and 2/3, something like that.
yeah, but like just by looking at it, you would think he's been a starting pitcher for his whole career. Like
that's cool. It doesn't surprise me that he can make the transition, but there's a couple issues there. One, he's never done it, so he's going to have to prove it for a whole season. Two,
yeah,
what's his inning max this year? Is he going to be able
Yeah,
to?
because I don't think he's going more than 5 in any start this year.
I mean, is he going to be able to go more than 120, 130 innings? And where's he going to be
right.
when playoff times come? And he's their number one starter,
Well, right now
Well,
because
it's
Manaya is hurt.
Manaya is, but he's
but
hurt.
he's hurt, right? So
Yeah,
okay,
But
so
he's not supposed to be out for very long. He's supposed to start in April.
okay, so that's good for them.
yeah.
And can he be the guy he was last year, or will he go back to what he was the rest of his career? Montas had an ERA pushing 5 the last two seasons. Or no, that was just last year. He played for 3 teams. Oh, now I'm sorry. The baseball reference thing was confusing. Last year, his ERA combined between the two teams he played for was just shy of 5.
Oh no, he's not good. He hasn't been good in a few years.
So
No, he's
I'm fascinated by their whole approach to pitching because they have all this money, and they
They're
didn't.
not shy about it. They don't believe in investing in pitching.
Yeah, it's
Period.
really a
Stop.
fascinating approach, and I hope they continue that because I can't. To me, it just seems the obvious thing that's going to hold them back. So
If it was them, they would get middling starters on 1 year contracts, get 7 of them every year, and just bring in a new 7 the next year.
that's really interesting
But
approach,
they have
man.
no desire to invest in pitching whatsoever.
I love it.
yeah.
I hope they continue that moving forward.
Well, and also they have that, the quote unquote lab or whatever, but so far 1 for 1 because last year it worked. We'll see if it works again this year.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't wait to see. And um,
Don't forget too, they
yeah,
have Senga coming back.
Senga, that's big, man. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. That guy's good with or without the lab.
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
But Atlanta getting Acuna back,
Strider,
Strider back.
and
Uh, you know,
that's all within the next 2 months. Strider's
yeah,
supposed to be back in April. And Acuna is supposed to be back mid-May.
yeah. And once they're fully healthy, I think they're the best team
yeah, it's hard to
by a
argue.
by a smidge over the Phillies. But if they're fully healthy, I think they are the best team. That's why I have them at first. But I have Philly right there, and if Atlanta falters at all, Philly's going to take it.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. And listen, if the Mets lab is going to work that well every year, they're going to beat both of these teams. So we'll see.
So, Al, your Phils. Give us a little thoughts on the Phils for this year.
Well, this is a fascinating Philly team. They didn't do a whole lot in the offseason. They added what's his face in left field, the Met or the former Twin, who I'm finding
Kepler.
Kepler. Thank you, Jordan. And they have a new closer who stunk yesterday. They had a 3-1 lead in the eighth inning. He came in, promptly gave up 2 runs, Jordan Romano. But I like him, and he'll be fine, I'm sure. And
Stunk yesterday.
welcome to Philly. That's a way to get booed in your first 12 hours in Philly. Um, but no, I like this roster. You know, Ranger Suarez is on the IL to start the season, so we're going to have to deal with Taiwan Walker for a couple weeks. But other than that, they arguably have the best pitching staff in the division, top to bottom. You know, the Braves are really good, top heavy. You know what I mean? But I think you
Yep.
can make a pretty good case that the Phillies are better from 1 to 5 when Suarez is healthy. Um, and that's what's going to have to do it. You know, and they have a good offense, but if that pitching staff goes to their top potential, they win this division. If not, if they're just mediocre, they could finish as low as third. So I think that's where it really falls for them this year, personally. Their offense is what it is. They're going to hit a ton of home runs. They're going to strike out at an epic rate, but that's modern baseball, you know. And
Yep.
they struck out 13 times last night to the starter, and then the second they took him out, they parked the next 2 pitches.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I, Alex, I always wanted, because I've seen this being a problem, and I want to know what did you think of that lineup yesterday? Because I got some thoughts on it,
You mean
but
Schwarber not leading off anymore?
yeah,
It's
because
fascinating to me that he put up what, by all accounts, is a historic leadoff season, one of the greatest leadoff seasons in the history of baseball, and then they take him out of the leadoff spot.
well,
So,
yeah, because like to me, how I would have done it, but I get because maybe you don't want to have two left-handers back to back, but I would have done it Turner, Bohm, and then Harper, Schwarber. That way, if Harper comes up, you he could drive in 2 runs because
well,
he's
here's the problem,
guaranteed to
because
drive
you
a run.
don't. The exact reason you said is why they don't, and it showed yesterday
Right,
because they left a righty in against Harper, or they brought a righty. They had a righty. It was who's their number 2 hitter, or he's their number 2. So he would have been fit. They had a righty to go against Trey Turner, and they kept him in against Harper, and he parked it.
right.
Yep. Um, yeah, you know what I'm thinking is, since all the big sluggers now, all the best players and best hitters on everybody's team is batting second,
Yeah,
it really lends itself to different kind of leadoff hitters. You don't want guys stealing bases in the leadoff spot anymore. You just want high on base percentages, because
yes.
they're not going to steal, because you don't want to take the bat out of your best player's hand behind you. Which is why I think the Yankees have Wells leading off, and I think he's going to do it a lot. And when he doesn't, they're saying it's probably going to be Goldschmidt. And again, these guys are not stealing bases, because you don't want to. First of all, if you're not successful, you take an RBI chance from Aaron Judge. But if they are successful, then the next all they're going to do is walk Judge.
Right. No,
If
that's
there's
exactly
open
right.
base. So you take the bat out of his hand either way. So I think more and more teams are doing this, that they want a good on base percentage guy, not necessarily a big steals guy leading off. I think the steals guys are going to be lower in the lineup now,
Yeah, it's
like in
interesting.
baseball.
Unless they are also on base percentage guys. Absolutely.
Right, right. But again, though, I don't know. I don't think the
You think
Yankees
they're going to
don't
drop
want
Ellie De La
anybody.
Cruz out of the leadoff spot?
I know for sure the Yankees don't want anybody who's going to steal bases ahead of Judge. That's why Jazz Chisholm was never considered for leadoff.
And that absolutely makes sense there. But I mean, do we think Ellie De La Cruz is going to bat anywhere but leadoff?
If they have a guy like Judge batting behind him, then no. I honestly think baseball's going that direction.
You might be right. Yeah, I don't know. You don't. I mean, for now, though, it's clear that Ellie's not batting leadoff, so it hasn't changed that much
Yeah.
yet.
Oh,
Right.
yes, for sure. But they don't have a Judge behind them either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nobody else in baseball has a judge
Well,
batting number
a
2.
really, just a big slugger guy that, you're the best hitter on the team kind of guy.
Right, right, right. Well, the and I'll give you, and it's an interesting point. And I like it, and I think you might be right. But the exact opposite of that happened in Philly this year because they switched out Schwarber for Trey Turner.
Right. But who's behind him?
Bryce Harper.
Yeah. See this. So that okay. So they're doing the exact opposite. But so I don't know. maybe some teams will do it, some teams won't.
I think that's more. Yeah, I think some. It's just a fun era to try and figure out where it's going because since they brought steals back in, we've had what now 2 or 3 seasons of steals being a factor again, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
It's
just
just I
love
don't
that it's
know.
part of the strategy of the game that we can even have this conversation because for about 10 years this conversation didn't exist.
Right. It's just
Right.
the
Yeah.
the evolution of baseball is always changing. It is fun to try to guess. I don't. I guess maybe I shouldn't have said across the board, but I think it's going to become more and more of a thing where you're going to see kind of what you would think is kind of like an odd guy leading off, like Schwarber last year.
100% agree. 100% agree. Yep. I think there'll be a little bit of both, and maybe one will eventually take over if it's clearly working better. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
because all sports are copycat leagues. So
Or unless they go back to the best hitter batting third and not second.
remember those days?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
third place hitter was like an honorary position. If you're batting third, you are the best hitter on the team
You were the
without question.
man. You were the man. And the number two hitter, which is so crazy for me to see Bryce Harper and the judges, or where do they have Judge hitting?
Second,
Second. So yeah, the fact that Harper and Judge are number two hitters is so crazy to me the way we grew up. Because the number two hitters, like my ideal number two hitter, the guy that jumps out at me from the Phillies over the last 30 years is Placido Polanco. You guys remember him?
I remember
Yes.
Placido Plano. Yeah,
Placido Polanco could hit the ball wherever he wanted. He didn't always get a hit with it, but if he wanted it to go to right field, it went to right field. If he wanted it to go to left field, it went to left field. If there was a guy on second base, he hit a grounder to second baseman 9 times out of 10. And that guy was on third base with one out. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
those guys don't exist anymore. And it's I hope that works
I
its way back into the game
I
eventually
tell you
too.
the same thing. When I was growing up, it was like the best Yankees lineup. It was so good. It was Ricky Henderson leading off,
Oh God, yeah.
Willie Randolph batting second,
Oh my God.
who can he puts the ball in play. He can bunt. He can do anything you want.
Yeah, he was great.
Don Mattingly batting third,
Beautiful.
and then Dave Winfield batting fourth.
Oh my God, that's a 1 through 4. Wow.
That was the lineup, and that's like each one of those guys is the quintessential guy for that spot in the lineup.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But not
Yeah.
anymore. Now it would be Randolph first, Mattingly second.
It's so funny, man. And do Jordan, do either of you guys play a video game like have either of you played a baseball video game in the last couple of years?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I still build my lineups like it's 1987, which is so like like I'm still looking to put a speedy leadoff guy in the top hole. I'm looking to put a on base percentage guy who
yeah,
hits 9
contact
home
hitter.
runs in the 2 hole. It's so funny. I'm like a dinosaur playing against these other teams.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Oh shoot, that's awesome. Cool. Well, where the heck are we? I lost myself in this discussion. This is awesome.
We were on
Uh,
the NL East. It's time to move on to the
Okay.
Central.
Okay.
Jordan, go ahead.
all right. So I'm gonna surprise people. I got the Cubs in first place.
You're not surprising me because I do too.
Oh,
Count
really?
me among
Okay.
the unsurprised. They are also my number one.
All right. So I got the Cubs number one. I just like the stuff that they did. I like the Kyle Tucker move.
Yeah.
Uh, you're having a veteran in Justin Turner. Like I feel like every team he's on, he always somehow makes them good.
Yeah. And the dude
Yeah,
still hits.
he's a
Yeah,
winner. He's a winner.
he and I also like the the Ryan Presley move. I like that as well. I now they have an elite closer um for once in I don't know how many years, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
finally got one. Um
I heard he's actually going to share the duties though.
Are they gonna
There's
mess around with it?
Yeah, there's another reliever that they're saying there's going to be like a two-headed monster for saves.
Did they bring Joe Madden back? Can they just not stop tweaking?
I heard
uh,
when I was doing all my fantasy research for my draft, I was all jazzed up for Presley, and then I read about it, and I'm like, why is he so low in the rankings? Because he was really low in the closer rankings, and the reason why is apparently I forgot the other guy's name, but he's going to become, going to be part of a two-headed monster.
That drives me crazy.
Okay,
The Phillies mess around like that too a lot, and it drives me nuts. I like the old school closers. The
Jordan.
closer,
Jordan, you are the encyclopedia around here for baseball. Who's the other
Yeah.
guy in
darn right.
Chicago?
Uh, trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think of his name. Hold on. I don't have the roster in
I
front of
I
me.
know, and it's a great nickname, and it's not going anywhere. The Unicorn is one of the best nicknames ever. But we could also call you Baseball Britannica.
Let's see. Brian Presley. What the hell? Oh my God, there's so many names. Uh, oh, like I'm looking at it, and they're just like all these weird ass. There's like all these names. You know what? Screw it. This is why we have Google.
Is it
Um,
Porter Hodge?
Nope. I'll
co-
know the name when you say it.
Nate Pearson?
Nope.
Caleb Thielbar?
Nope.
Eli Morgan?
I don't think so.
Julian Merriweather?
No.
Colin Ray?
Was it Colin Ray?
Let's
I
look
don't
up.
know. All I'm seeing is Presley is the closer.
Well, we have a
Let
mystery in
let me let me
Chicago.
let me just look him up, and then hopefully they'll tell me. Oh, okay. I guess the other guy got hurt, so it is Presley now.
Okay.
The other guy's hurt.
Wait a second. What I just saw says now this is just the AI overview, which is wrong as much as it's right. But Ryan Presley is now with the Chicago Cubs, and he's expected to share the closer role with Porter Hodge. Is what
There
this is
you
saying.
go. There you go. Porter Hodge. You said that name, and it didn't ring a bell. I thought it would.
It's a fun name too. I like that name, Porter Hodge.
Yeah. So there you go. So I don't know. Maybe he got hurt. They said
Okay.
due to injuries,
Interesting.
Presley
Okay.
is now locked in
Well, it's
as
something
the
to keep an
closer.
eye on for anybody that's listening and playing fantasy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway,
I'm a Presley guy too. That surprises me that they would mess with him. I like him too.
okay. Jordan, who do you have coming in second?
I have the Brewers. Um, just because they're it's the same team, but I'm also a big Pat Murphy fan. I like what he did with the team, especially since year one. So they're my second. I have Cincinnati number three. Um, again, yes, they didn't make moves, but again, they're young, and also Tito is back on the as the manager, so I think that's gonna help them a lot.
Just
Um,
on that alone, they are my second place team behind Chicago,
okay,
just because of Tito Francona. No other reason.
Right on. Nice, nice. And Matt McClain being back to me is just as big.
oh yeah, like everyone's high on him.
Yeah, he looked really
So,
good a couple years ago, and
yeah,
if
and
he's
also
anything like what he
also
looked,
also I think Ellie De La Cruz stole like close to 80 stolen bases.
well, I want to see if he can get to 100. I'd love to see
He
if he
said
could. If
he said he wants to.
Yeah, and that's all you need to know. That means he's going to go for it.
Yeah, I would
So
love to see that.
I would love to see it too. I would love to see it too.
Um,
Especially because 5 years ago I thought we'd never see it again.
Right,
yeah,
right there with you.
oh, 100%.
Right there with you. I mean, what he had like 70 something last year, right?
67.
67, 67. I never thought we'd see a number like that again a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Pittsburgh is my number four team.
Hmm.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like they didn't do much. But I don't know. Maybe the next couple years I'll have them higher because I know a lot, and I mean a lot of guys have come out publicly and said that they want to win, and one of those guys was their star player in Paul Skeens, who literally said, and I quote, I watched the wild card game against the Cincinnati Reds, and he's like, I want to get back to that, but better. So
Wow.
he said that they definitely owe the city of Pittsburgh. So, but I have them four, and St. Louis is my number five.
Right on. Right on.
All
Craig,
right.
you want to jump in next?
Sure. Okay, so I have Chicago, like I said, and Cincinnati. 88 and 84 wins. I have Milwaukee right behind Cincinnati with 83 wins. And then I actually flip flopped the bottom two. I have St. Louis, then Pittsburgh, but again, both within a game of each other. A little bit behind Milwaukee, a little bit of a gap between Milwaukee and St. Louis, but St. Louis and Pittsburgh basically identical, just one game difference. Um, yeah, St. Louis, they could easily finish in last. Pittsburgh could definitely overtake them, but I'm not sure if it's there yet. In Milwaukee, they're just kind of solid every year. They're not great. They're not going to win the World Series or anything, but they're never terrible. They always find a way. So I expect them once again. And if Yelich is healthy all year, I think they'll be better. So I'm pretty confident in pretty comfortable with them in the third spot. In Cincinnati, like I said, is just because of Terry Francona. That's the only reason.
Right on, right on. Yeah, and I think I went exactly with you. I think, Craig. I went Cubs, Reds, Brewers, Cards, Pirates. Um,
Yep, that's
and
exactly the same. Yep.
okay, cool, cool. And for me, two players coming back for the Reds are huge. Matt McLean and hopefully in 3 weeks getting the rest of the season out of TJ Friedel. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who had a 819 OPS the last time he played a full season. So that is no small addition to your roster. So and he's still young. Well, no, he's not. He's 29. I take it back. But between him and Matt McLean being back in the everyday roster, hopefully by the end of April, that's a big boost to their offense. And then the Brewers, I'm with you. Like it wouldn't surprise me if the Brewers finish second or even first because they're always there. But
Yeah. Yep. They
you
find a
know, I
way.
just went third by a hair. I didn't do games like you did, but I in my mind it was just as close as what you said. And then I have the Cardinals and the Pirates in their own clump further back from that.
Okay. I guess I will do the West. Start
All
the West.
right.
I mean, I already wrote down because I'm writing these down so we can have them for when we're done. At the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I already wrote down the Dodgers for everybody.
Well, that's crazy because I picked the Rockies. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, this is the only one of the only easy selections in the entire exercise.
Yeah.
Yes, I have them with 104 wins,
Right on, right on.
and that might be lowballing it. Anyway, Arizona, I have in second
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
with the 86 wins. Then the Padres with 85. Then the Giants with 78, and then Colorado with 60.
I'm right 100% with you, Craig.
Me
Same.
too.
Yep, 100% the same.
Wow,
I-
How
I'm
about
I'm
that?
the, I'm the same.
Right? Are you really, Jordan?
Yeah.
Nice. That's
that's the
two divisions
second
we did exactly
division.
the same, I think, right?
Yeah, it's the second time.
I can't believe that. That's amazing because I mean, there's a lot of variables between. I actually went back and forth between the Padres and the Diamondbacks a few times, but the pitching
Me
additions with it.
too.
Did you really? That's awesome.
I didn't. I kind of find it easy. I mean, even though uh, scheduling did hurt the Rockies or the Diamondbacks last night, which I don't know how they managed to do that. Um, I mean, if you don't know, Burns wasn't the opening day starter.
Yep.
What?
uh, yeah, because on spring training, Corbin Burns said, "I want to pitch one more game." So Torey Lovell said, "Yeah, why not?" He's like, "Let's do it." And then he looked at the schedule. He said, "Shh." He said, "Crap." He's like, "You pitched today.
I can't believe I missed that.
You're 3 days to opening day. You're not gonna be five." So he's now the fifth starter. So his first start will be April 1st against the New York Yankees instead of opening day.
that's
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
that's insane.
How
So
stupid are
that
they?
so
They
that's
they
like
cost themselves a start of the one of the best pitchers in baseball. That's
so that
insane.
that's why if you watched and you're wondering why is Zach Gallen the opening day starter, well, that's why.
Well, shoot, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna, early candidate for manager of the year. He is not.
yeah.
No, that's
But
dumb.
I don't know, but I like how this team does kind of remind me a little bit of a couple years ago. I just feel like they got all the pieces, and and then you adding Burns, who is a fantastic pitcher. Uh, Josh Naylor. I mean, I know he's iffy, but he's got to hit 30 home runs, and you know, just the whole team in general.
It's a good team.
It's a great second place team.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Padres always disappoint. So yes.
That's why in the end I did what I did. And if you could tell me that you were going to get a at least the B version of you Darvish and you were going to get at least 20 starts out of Joe Musgrove, I would have taken the Padres. But neither of those things are even close to a given. So I'm going Diamondbacks second.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Who are your wild cards? Your three
Okay.
wild cards.
Which
Al in the
league first?
American League wild cards. Al go.
Okay. Was that an you'll go, Craig, or did you say ow?
Al.
Okay,
Al.
sorry.
Not Isle. Not
Yeah,
Isle.
totally.
Al.
It's funny too because sometimes my name sounds like people are talking about the nocturnal bird, the owl. You know, so I get those three things confused with my name a lot. um, does anybody have it written down nicely? Because it's going to take me a second to figure out what I did here.
Oh,
Oh no, wait, I
I
have it.
got
I have
him.
it. Never mind. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
I have the Orioles. No, just the first wild card, the Mariners. Sorry, I got that's my crazy pick for the thing is the Mariners make it as a wild card.
Okay. And your other two?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so then I'm going Red Sox and Orioles.
Okay. I have the Yankees as my number one wild card. My number two wild card is the Orioles. And my number three wild card is Cleveland.
Right on. Okay. Yep.
So in the AL West, I have Houston not making it. I only have Texas making it from the West.
Yes, I didn't have Houston making it. I had the Mariners getting in as the wild card over them.
Yep. Jordan, what do you got for the American League wild cards?
Um, I got Houston, then Kansas City, and Baltimore.
Cool.
So you don't have the Yankees making the playoffs.
Nope.
Very good. Very cool. Okay. All right. National League wild cards. I have Atlanta win the division. Well, we have the NL East. We were the same. So I have Philly and the Mets both making the wild card,
Yep. Me
and
too.
I have Arizona making the wild card from the NL West.
We're exactly the same, Craig.
Wow.
Yep.
What
Same with me.
was that, Jordan?
Same with me.
No way. Oh
No.
wow. How about that?
Yep.
Really?
Uh
That's pretty
That's
cool. I'm
awesome.
surprised and cool. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Did you guys do wild card matchups, or did you just go to the division, or did you just do the ALCS, NLCS? What did you guys do?
Yeah,
huh. Just
I didn't. Oh, go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I just went right to the World Series.
I did that too. Yeah, I can make them up real quick if you want, but I just jumped right to the World Series too.
Okay. Well, can you guys maybe get an AL and NLCS?
Um.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Give me a couple seconds.
I could probably think one, probably on top of my head. ALCS. I'm gonna go Boston, and I'm gonna go Boston and Kansas City.
Okay.
And NL I'm gonna do Mets and the Diamondbacks.
Oh, interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. I have Texas and Boston in the ALCS,
Texas and Boston. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
and I have Atlanta and the Dodgers in the NL.
Ooh. Okay.
Like this. Okay. So, well, once again, Craig, we're on the same page in at least one league. Dodgers, Braves, NLCS. Yankees, Red Sox,
Oh, that
ALCS.
would be amazing.
Yankees, Red Sox.
That would
That'd be
be
good.
amazing.
That
And
would
I
be
could
good.
see it. I really
Oh, it's
could.
definitely possible. Definitely possible.
They are, by the way, back to
The
my little odds
the
thing
two
for the last
favorites,
time.
right? They're the favorites.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
they are. So
I think you looked at exactly what I was looking at. I looked at the same thing. And I was like, wow, the Yankees are favored to go to the World Series, and the ALCS is supposed to be them in Boston, according to this site.
which and oddly enough, I have a site too. Like one of the sites that you're looking at must be part of what I'm looking at because the site I have combines four different odds from four different betting sites.
Okay, so we all have Boston in the ALCS. Does anybody have them going to the World Series? Because I don't.
I don't either.
Oh, this is interesting because I do.
Love
Okay,
it.
so the World Series is for me. It is good. It is Atlanta and Texas with Atlanta winning. I have Atlanta beating the Dodgers and winning the World Series.
Right on, right on. Jordan, you want to take it next?
Guys, we're going to go back in time.
Ooh, I like it.
We're going back to a rematch of 1986. We're going Mets and the Red Sox.
Oh, I love it. Love
And
that.
we're changing history because Boston's going to win this one.
I freaking love that. That is so awesome, man. That is so awesome. Well, we are also going back in time in my matchup, all the way to 2024. Dodgers Yankees.
And who do you have winning?
Dodgers.
Okay.
Okay. Very, very interesting.
That was fun, man.
All right. Let's wrap this episode up here with some awards. Let's just rip through them. We don't need to go crazy. I have Bobby Witt winning the AL MVP, and I have because I did it last year, and damn it, he was gonna win it till he got hurt. So I'm doing it this year again. Kyle Tucker winning the NL MVP.
Right on, right on. Jordan, go ahead. I'm finding my page.
Okay. Okay. So we agree with one. Kyle Tucker is going to be my MVP for the NL. I'm going bold prediction for AL MVP. I'm going Mike Trout.
Oh, I would love
Oh,
that.
that is bold. Yes, it is.
That is as bold as it gets, and I would absolutely love it because that would mean he played baseball this year. I would love that, man. I that would be so cool.
Hmm?
All right,
Okay,
well, I'm
Al.
going NL. There, listen, you can be my new nickname is going to be Chalk because I'm going Shohei Ohtani NL, Aaron Judge AL.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's do Cy Young's. The AL was tough to figure out.
Yeah.
I went I went with a weird name, I think. I went
Ooh,
with Logan Gilbert.
oh yeah, no, I like Logan Gilbert.
Okay.
He's part of. He's a big reason I picked Seattle to finish where I picked him.
Yep. And I have Wheeler in the NL.
Me too. That's awesome.
For the second year in a row I have Wheeler in the NL.
Yeah, I'm predicting him to hold off somebody that might be coming from Jordan one more year. Who are you taking, Jordan?
All right. So for my AL, I'm going risky here, but I think it's going to happen. Cole Reagans is going to be my Cy Young for the AL.
It's a great pick.
And just because I have a feeling he's going to have a great year when he comes back, I'm going Spencer Strider for my NL.
Ah, that's a
Wow.
totally reasonable pick. Totally reasonable.
I
I'm
like it.
surprised none of us picked Paul Scanes.
No.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
he would be my number two, but I think old Zach holds him off one more year. Um, and then in the AL, I went with Tariq Skubal.
Okay.
Okay.
The only other award I did was the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I'm
That's
with
what
you.
I did too.
Okay, so I went with Dylan Cruz in the NL,
Mm-hmm.
And I went totally homer and went Jason Dominguez in the AL.
Right on, and it's legit too. I mean, it very well could be. I wouldn't argue that,
Okay, Al, what do you got?
except to say that I am going to argue because I picked somebody else, I guess. But it's a totally reasonable pick, is what I meant. um, in the NL, I'm going international Roki Sasaki. Um,
Mhm.
and in the AL, I'm going Cam Smith, the guy that is taking over right field for Kyle Tucker, who was I think he was a third baseman, and then he played so well they put him in Tucker's spot in right field.
I like
I,
Cam Smith.
I do too. Yeah.
And neat thing about Cam Smith before Jordan goes, real quick, is
Mhm.
this is my stat of the day. He is one. Not only is this guy hit everywhere he's ever played, I couldn't find a season of him hitting under 300 anywhere at any level. Um, he is now the third fastest player in the draft era in Major League Baseball history, which started in 1965. Third fastest player to get to an opening day roster. Do you guys want to take a guess at 1 and 2? Because they are guys you will know. I never would have come up with this, though. I will say that.
Uh,
I'm gonna go with an odd one,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to put it because I remember it. Wasn't Strasburg one of them?
Great guess. Incorrect. I would have
Oh,
guessed him too, actually. That's a good guess.
because
Both
I
of these
remember
guys are offensive players, and they both came up in the 80s. Anybody want to try before I tell you again?
they both came up
up
in
in
the
the
80s.
Both
'80s.
came up in the 80s.
Oh man, fast guy. By fast you mean like went right through the minors in like a year or two, and
Well,
like every
here's how
level.
it works. So here's the exact numbers, so you know. Uh, Cam Smith became the third fastest by doing it in 32 games. Okay. One of these two guys did it in 6, and the other did it in 0.
Oh, never played in the minors.
Correct.
Is it Barry Bonds?
Nope.
Oh,
Well,
isn't it one of the isn't it one of the it's either Al Kaline or Al Simmons.
These are
Um.
great guesses, but it's in the 80s, remember, Jordan.
Oh yeah, crap.
Yep, that's okay.
um,
Yeah, mom, that's hard.
Okay, and let me give you one hint for each guy because I doubt you'll ever come up with them. This might help. One guy
mhm.
had as many muscles as anybody that's ever played baseball.
Mark
The other
McGuire,
guy featured prominently in a Ricky Henderson story we shared on Jordan's last podcast.
John Olerud, and Mark McGuire,
Close. John Olerud is absolutely correct. He's the one that did it in 6
and
days.
Jose Canseco.
Nope. You're going to understand when I say this, but he's not going to maybe come right to mind. He comes right to my mind because he played for the Phillies for a year or two.
Jim Tomey? No.
Nope. Although another great guess.
F- Pete
Schmidt?
Incaviglia.
Yes. Yes.
How the hell did I pull that off?
Yes, Craig.
Pete
Well done.
Incaviglia.
Pete Incaviglia has the all-time record in the draft era. He'd never played a game in the minors. and,
Wait, no,
and it,
that must be tied now then, because there's a pitcher on the Angels who's literally made the opening day roster, played 0 games in the minors.
and maybe it's a position player thing.
Yep, could
Okay,
be.
yeah, maybe.
Wow. I gotta say, I'm patting myself on the back for that Incaviglia. That is
I
out of
can't believe
thin.
even with
That is out of
a
thin
hint, I can't
air.
believe you got it because there were 1,000 muscle bound players in that era.
Well, that's why I thought of McGuire Canseco right off the bat.
100%, 100%.
But when you said he played for the Phils, I was thinking. I thought of Incaviglia real quick, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure he played for the Phillies. It was in the '80s, but I really knew him in the AL from playing for Texas.
Yep, exactly. That's who he came up with. Yep, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
and that's how like I knew him, and the Yankees played against him all the time, and he struck out 1,000 times, but when he got a hold of one, good lord,
Oh, dude, he would fit into this modern era perfectly. He was
yeah,
a little ahead of his time.
he'd strike out 200 times, but hit
Yep,
45 homers.
exactly, exactly. He was part of my one of my favorite platoons ever because he platooned in left field for the Phils for a year or two with I don't know if either of you guys will remember Milt Thompson.
I remember Milt Thompson.
Milt was a good player, man, and those two had the craziest platoon ever because Milt was like a fast, slick, good moving left fielder, and then they would bring in the Incredible Hulk against lefties.
Wasn't he like 5'8"? He was short too.
I don't remember. You're probably right, man.
Short and bulky as hell.
You're right. I mean, bulky as hell is exactly correct. Let me see. I'm going to look it up. I don't remember. That's awesome. Yeah. Anybody that doesn't remember this guy that's listening to this podcast, just look him up in his prime. Like he was a tank, an absolute freaking
He should
tank.
be
I
playing
can't find his
football, to
height.
be honest.
Yeah, he looks like a linebacker, man. He really does. In his prime, he looked like he could have like he should have been in the same playing a 3-4 with Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the pod, guys.
Love it, man. That was a freaking blast, guys. Always enjoy doing this with you.
Jordan,
Yes.
we have to do the relief pitchers top 10
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
on your podcast. Would you like to do that next week?
Yeah,
I
we can do that next week.
I think I am good for that. I am checking as we speak, and I'm almost positive. Let me just make sure. I am good.
Okay, so how about next Friday? We wait a minute. No, it's not yet. Okay, yeah, next Friday works. I am working on a Friday again, and it's going to be all day this time, but it's not this. I think it's the Friday after that. So
Okay, cool,
I'm
cool.
pretty sure we're good for next Friday. So let's do it.
All
I'm in,
right.
man. Can't wait.
Relief pitchers top 10 on the Baseline podcast. Make sure you guys check out the Baseline. Jordan has all the baseball content on there, and we join him for top 10 lists. We've done every position player, hitting wise, and now we're going to get to the pitchers. We're going to start with the relief pitchers, and then we're going to try to dive into the monster that is starting pitchers, which I think is going to be completely impossible.
Uh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, my head was. I looked like Linda Blair in my living room, staring at the different top 20s and 30s,
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
I mean,
I
I'm
was
just wild.
I was doing that too, Al, and my head was spinning. Every list I looked at,
It's
I
completely
did
different.
Completely different.
no, yeah, but here's the weird part. Every list I looked at didn't have Nolan Ryan
Oh, that's
top 20.
insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I
That's
yeah,
I can't, like what the hell? It's gonna be insane. Like I told you guys, I saw that first list that John Smoltz wasn't on, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be wild because I don't know if John
yeah,
Smoltz is gonna be on my list, but
but
if he's not on the list, like I gotta really think. Like that's
you want to know
crazy, man.
why though, Al? Because I looked at the list myself.
Is it because
One,
of his years as a reliever?
well, no, one because the the top 20 is like, well, one, they have Roger Clemens in, which, spoiler alert, he's not making my list. And then
Yeah.
number two, they have active players on that list. Like
Oh.
they have Scherzer, Verlander, and Kershaw.
Yeah, and for me, like we've talked about, no active player. I won't even consider an active player, and I understand if anybody does, if any one of us three do, and some we have at times. But for me, it just makes it easier to cut something out, and that's something I can cut out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why I think Smokes didn't make like that list you looked at. But otherwise, I think he might be a top 20 starting pitcher.
I mean, I just he was just one guy I had in my mind, like the Glavin Smoltz thing. You know what I mean? Was such a big part of my formative years. Like
Right.
it was like my whole 20s. I
And
would my
I,
the
I could
Phillies were
probably
getting.
spoil it that the third guy there, Maddox, is probably my going to make my list as the top guy from those three.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yes, and I love all
Oh
three
yeah,
of them, and he's the best of the three. Yeah, you can.
That's going
Yeah,
to be fun.
that pitching staff annoyed me to no end for over a decade.
Yep. But they only
Oh,
got one championship, so screw them.
yeah, exactly. No, that we can all rub that in their faces for the rest of their lives.
Greatest pitching staff of all time. You get one title out of it.
I know, man. It's really wild. It's like it's it's actually almost debatable to me what's worse, that or the Buffalo Bills.
Well, they went to it what, three times or four times?
I want to say four, but you might be right with three. I'm not sure. I'll check while you're talking.
I think
I know the Yankees beat him twice, and they won against Cleveland, but I don't know if there was another one in there. Yankees beat them in '96 and '98.
Did I ever tell you, either
In
of you guys, by the
'99, I'm
way,
sorry.
you just brought back a memory real quick. Did I ever
What?
tell either? This is weird because you guys are the Yankee fans and I'm the Philly fan, but my sister went to Rutgers. Did I ever tell either of you that I was at game seven, or I'm sorry, which one did the Yankees sweep? Was it 97 or 98?
They swept in '98 and '99. They swept both of them.
And 98 was against the Braves.
'99 was against the Braves.
99 was against the Braves. Then I was at the
'98 was against the
Oh,
Padres.
Padres. Okay. I was at the clinching game, game four against the,
Really?
the Braves in Yankee Stadium in right field bleachers. Yeah.
That's when Mariano Rivera had 8 straight World Series saves.
Yes. And it was
wow.
it was it was awesome. Like, I mean, it's like I've never been to a playoff game of any team that I root for, but I saw the game clinching World Series of the Yankees Braves. It was so
That's
cool.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That place must have been bananas.
It was incredible. It was one of the coolest things I ever saw because they were doing the F the Braves chant. And there was this cool couple that they were probably in their 40s, and they had two kids that were two boys that were way into it. They loved it like we all do. And they were maybe 10 and 11, 10 and 12, something like that. And the whole crowd is going, F the Braves. And I saw the parents look at each other, and then they kind of winked and smiled. They looked down at the kids and nodded, and the kids start going, F the Braves. Oh, it's beautiful. Baseball is such a fine tradition. I love it.
That's my dream. That's my dream one day is to go to a World Series. I haven't gone.
Oh, it's amazing.
I never go to a World Series. I go to a playoff game. I went to a playoff game with your dad, Jordan.
Yeah, I
Oh,
never
cool.
been to a playoff game either.
We we slept outside because this was back before the online ticketing, so you had to go to the stadium and get tickets. And they announced when they were on sale. We were both happened to be off, and
Wow.
we went there in the late afternoon the day before and slept out in front of the stadium.
That's how my sister did it, man. That's why I got tickets. My sister, that's why I forgot to tell you that part of it. She was at Rutgers. That's why I mentioned that, because she was in the vicinity. So her best friend's a New Yorker. They decided to go camp out like you did. They took sleeping bags in a tent and they were there for
Yep,
36 hours.
yep. We camped out, and then we got them the next afternoon.
Yep. That's how it worked for my sister, too. That's awesome you did that. That's so cool.
Also, but to answer your guys' question, they appeared 5 times. The Braves.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Wow.
91 because I mean
The
that's
twin. That was the Twins, right?
92 they lost to Toronto.
Yep. Yep.
95 they won. 96 they lost against the Yankees, and 99 they lost. This is against the Yankees.
Well, so
Yep.
the Bills comparison isn't that bad then, because they lost as many as the Bills, at least.
Yeah. It's just that they got that one win.
They did, and that makes it totally different. It's not a good comparison, honestly. It's just I hate the Braves enough to try and make fun of them, but it's not fair. But yeah, they did a lot of that. I guess the last two or three would have been with Maddox. The 91 and 2 would have been just Glavine and Smoltz.
Yep.
Yes, because that was
Maddox was on the Cubs.
wasn't
Cubs. Yep.
that was like the year what the last game. Um, Jack Morris went what like 11 innings.
Oh my God, yes, it's one of the best games ever.
Yep.
Uh huh.
Yep. I remember
Jack Morris. Yeah.
Terry Pendleton was a terror in that series.
Dude, that was such a good series. That's one of my favorite series ever. Jack Morris, who I'm pretty sure will not be in my top 20 pitcher list, is one of my favorite pitchers of all time.
He's a bulldog. He's a horse.
Yep,
100%.
absolute beast. And if I had to take, if I could have one start from one guy, and you gave me Jack Morris, I would not be a sad fellow.
No, no. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's the
That was
pod.
awesome. Thank you.
And next week we will be on the baseline, so make sure you guys check that out. It'll be the top 10. We doing top 10 or top 20 relievers?
Top 10.
Top
Top
10. We're
10
going. Okay.
relievers of all time.
Yep.
Number one will not be a debate.
No, I think that. Yeah, we'll leave it for that
To
pod.
me,
But
I don't know about you guys. I think the top 3 were easy.
Well, we'll get into it next week. I don't want to give too
Yeah.
much away if we're only
No, but
giving
I'm just
10.
saying. I think, in my opinion,
I
the
didn't
three.
dive that deep into it yet. This is going to be the week that I get into it more for the relievers.
Uh,
But we'll see. I could see that being a definite possibility.
I love it. I can't wait. Yeah, because I'm with Craig. I had a top two in my head, but I didn't have a top three. So I when I look at it, I'll be like, oh, that must be Jordan. What Jordan was talking about.
yep. And then yeah, so we'll do like you said. We're doing this one first because we said this won't be easier. Give us a headache from doing the top 20, and then we'll do a top 20 starting pitching.
That's yeah.
Right.
That's gonna be awesome.
We'll all need therapy after.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me as always. Make sure you guys check out the baseline. And I'm back to doing my reactions every other day for the music stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, Perks Recap on YouTube. But that's going to do it. Until next time. Once again, thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Al. And I will see you later.